Coronavirus: when will the outbreak end and life get back to normal? But even if the number of cases starts to fall in the next 3 months, then we will still be far from the end. It is clear the current strategy of shutting down large parts of society is not sustainable in the long term. What countries need is an exit strategy, a way of lifting the restrictions and getting back to normal. If you lift the restrictions that are holding the virus back, then cases will inevitably soar. A vaccine should give someone immunity so they do not become sick if they are exposed. Immunize enough people, about 60% of the population, and the virus cannot cause outbreaks, the concept known as herd immunity. The first person was given an experimental vaccine in the US this week after researchers were allowed to skip the usual rules of performing animal tests first. Vaccine research is taking place at unprecedented speed, but there is no guarantee it will be successful and will require immunization on a global scale. The best guess is a vaccine could still be 12 to 18 months away if everything goes smoothly. That is a long time to wait when facing unprecedented social restrictions during peacetime. Waiting for a vaccine should not be honored with the name strategy. That is not a strategy. The UK's short-term strategy is to drive down cases as much as possible to prevent hospitals being overwhelmed. When you run out of intensive care beds, then deaths spike. But this could take years to build up. We're talking about suppressing transmission at a level whereby, hopefully, only a very small fraction of the country will be infected. So eventually, if we continued this for 2+ years, maybe a sufficient fraction of the country at that point might have been infected to give some degree of community protection. But there is a question mark over whether this immunity will last. Other coronaviruses, which cause common cold symptoms, lead to a very weak immune response, and people can catch the same bug multiple times in their lifetime. Developing drugs that can successfully treat a COVID-19 infection could aid the other strategies too. Or to treat patients in hospital to make the disease less deadly and reduce pressures on intensive care. This would allow countries to cope with more cases before needing to reintroduce lockdowns. Increasing the number of intensive care beds would have a similar effect by increasing the capacity to cope with larger outbreaks. Long term, clearly a vaccine is one way out of this, and we all hope that will happen as quickly as possible.